Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Mark. I'd like to kind of start finishing up this series on habits and how to create fantastic habits, how to change your habits in life. And these tips are going to speed the process in so many ways. Today I'm talking about rewards, how to reward yourself, because the reward process, the reason we do anything is for a reward. Either it's relief from something we don't want or it's towards something that we do want. And we're our minds are very short-term focused. Think about the evolution of the human species. For a very long time, what helped us was focusing on the moment, running away from the tiger, the lion, or the bear, or getting food immediately, or whatever it was. Long-term thinking, delayed gratification, has not been helpful to humans for most of our existence. It's only been in the last, since the agricultural revolution, it's only been really in the last 10 or 15,000 years, max, that it's helpful to focus on the long term rather than the short term. Short term has always been more beneficial. Even most of the agricultural revolution has been mostly short term. So having said that, our brains are geared towards short-term satisfaction. So why is it that you eat chocolate cake even though you know that it's not going to help your diet, it's not going to help you feel good, it's not going to help anything in life long term? Because short term, I want it right now, and the sugar tastes good. That's it. Short term, everyone else is doing it, and I want to be part of the group, so I do it right now. That's it. We're very short-term thinkers, generally speaking. This is why people like Elon Musk or people who are got like these 50-year plans. They're Japanese companies who have like 200-year plans for their companies. That's why that's so strange in our world, because very few people think like that. Now, how can you help yourself develop habits thinking about rewards and thinking about this short-term satisfaction? When you are starting habits, it is imperative that you think short-term and help yourself short-term. Now, we've talked about this. We've talked about making it obvious. We've talked about making it simple and easy, because the easier it is, the more we're likely to do it, because it's not a big sacrifice right now. My wife has always said, you can choose pain now and gain later, or gain now and pain later. But we will typically focus on the short term. So again, how do you help the short term? Here's an idea. And you can do this in multiple ways. I'm going to give you one idea right now, but I want you to experiment with this. See how it can work in your life and in various ways. The more you explore this, the more you will find out what works for you, and the more you will be able to have success in your habits. Okay? So here's the way, and it's very simple. Track your habits. There is so much satisfaction for humans. This works with our brains, to check something off a list, to say we've done something, to be making progress in some way. Think about this, thinking about in the gaming industry, with computer games, or with how many games are popular because there are storylines and they go long, but you have this progress over time. I've heard about a whole bunch of crazy games, and legitimately, that's what keeps people involved most of the time. It's not the gameplay. Most of these things are, my opinion is that most of them are quite boring long term if you're just doing the same thing over and over again. But if you're making progress, if you're seeing progress, that will keep you involved. I remember playing a computer game a few years back where it was a useless game, and I realized, why am I doing this? But it was only because I was progressing that I kept involved, because it was a mundane thing. So how can you use this to your advantage? The way you do it is you track your progress. And there are ways to do this. You can use the simple Jerry Seinfeld method, where just every day he tries to write one joke, and every time he writes a joke, he makes an X on his calendar, okay? And he sees how long the streak can be. Or you can use a more complex way by simply downloading an app, a habit tracking app. They're available all over the place. Most of them are free. You can find one that's a little better, does a little bit more, that costs a little bit more. I know that I've got one on my phone. Know that I'm not going to give you the name of it, because by the time you watch this, the company may be defunct, and there might be new companies. But find one for you that works for you. And I would suggest spend a little bit of money on it. Remember, the more we invest in something, the more likely we're able to follow through with it. And this is what you'll find. You'll find that as you start tracking your progress, it feels good. Now, if you want to supercharge this, stay also accountable with somebody else. Get them to track their progress too. And now, if you're competitive, this will work that way, but even if you're not competitive, I'm not super competitive, even if you're not competitive, you will start going, I don't want to let this other person down. So use these things to your advantage. Social proof, or social connection. and our desire to help others and stay socially aware, but also habit tracking ourselves. So that's the simple thing that I'm going to give you today. I could go on and on and on about this. I'm not going to. This is a simple video. If you want help with this, let me know. But for right now, this is the action step. The action step is find some tracking device, some way to track your progress that will help you. So whether that's a calendar, buy a new calendar, whatever it is, or buy an app for your phone, or download a free app for your phone, a habit tracking app, and then set it up in such a way that you start off small. Remember everything that I've said in this series, start off really small and simply mark it off. And this is what you'll find. Don't put it in 10 habits at the start. Just put in 1 habit at the start and start tracking it, okay? And then try to set a goal. Say like, hey, can I do this 3 days in a row? Can I simply do this 3 days in a row? Can I do this a week in a row? Can I do this 2 weeks? Now that I've been in 2 weeks, can I do it 4 weeks? I've lately had a couple of huge streaks with certain things. A little while ago, I had like a 60-some day streak of working out in a row, which I was really proud of. Not all of them are really hard workouts, but I'm making sure I exercise a certain amount to burn a certain amount of calories every day. And it felt good. And on one day, it was like day 40 or 45 or something, I felt awful. I was like, am I getting sick? What's going on? And I so wanted to not do what I'd set out to do. And yet because I had this long streak going, I was like, no, I'm just going to go for a walk. I'm going to do anything I need to do to keep the streak alive. So I did. And I kept it alive for another 15, 20 days, whatever it was. Do this, you will find that it works magically with who we are as humans. And let me know how it goes. Feel free to make a comment, email me, text me, and let me know how it's going, all right? I love hearing success stories. I love hearing also frustration stories because I love helping people in that way. Enjoy the process.